So the Michael Jackson biopic, it's already got drama. It's already drama for a while, of course. Everyone's already saying, like, there are people like, why are we making this? Because of the allegations of Michael Jackson, his life. There's those people that are, like, thrilled about it. But a big thing that happened is now they might have to go into massive reshoots. They're trying to figure it out right now because here's a crazy thing. The third act is apparently something they can't show on film because now a while ago, years ago, before this Michael Jackson biopic was even like a thought, back when Michael Jackson had this whole lawsuit against the estate for, again, SA. I just want to say, I'm just going to say sexual harassment, sexual assaults. Remember there was this whole trial that went down back in the day.
He was a pedophile. Quit trying to soft soap it.
Allegedly, he was found innocent, GR, allegedly. So again, but that's the debate right there. But back in the day, the Chandler family actually were suing him again for assault with their child. Now, when they actually settled in that lawsuit, the idea was they could never, in any biopic, any movie of Michael Jackson, use their name or likeness in the movie at all. It was prohibited in the settlement because of the whole thing that went down. Now, they shot the movie, and apparently the whole third act has the Chandler family in it, has their name, and they even have the father on tape. They're looking back at the father, and they're saying Michael Jackson was innocent, and they play audio files of the father actually talking bad about, I'm going to destroy his career, as if like they did this on purpose just to destroy Michael Jackson as opposed to actually being assault. And so the way that showcased, when they're going to air it now, apparently someone came forward and said, hey, by the way, we can't actually do this after it's shot, after it's edited, and they're doing test screenings and stuff because that, of that molestation case. And so now I guess Lionsgate's scrambling. Lionsgate's trying to figure this out. They're having meeting all the lawyers, and they're actually going back and forth talking about what they can actually do, waiting for approval on this. But it sounds like they have to go and reshoot that whole third act because someone didn't realize they weren't allowed to show that. Now, I'm just worried about this movie in general. I think that, again, the idea of Michael Jackson biopic seems like it's a no-brainer. Like it's going to happen eventually. Again, King of Pop. He's been around for a long time. But I think because of the allegations, the backlash, people, are upset about Michael Jackson. It's going to be controversial. Always going to be controversial. I just knew it was going to be. But now I'm like, are people going to try to tank this thing because of this? Will Lionsgate stop? I don't think they will. But I'm going to put it to the panel here. Will Lionsgate actually stop and be like, maybe we shouldn't do this? Or are we too far gone? Laura, what do you think? Right now, like they have these allegations coming forward. They have a lawsuit probably filing off this. Will they go back and shoot this and spend all the money? Or do you think that maybe they'll be tied up in court? This will be massive problems.
So I have a lot of friends that worked on this, and I have a little insider information. And I heard that the amount of this movie they have to reshoot is like more like 60% of it because the family also has issues. It's like isn't it like his nephew or his cousin or something that's playing?
His nephew, Jafar, yeah.
Nephew.
And like I've heard that the family is super not happy with the first cut of the movie, and they're like, "No, you need to take 60% of this movie out. We don't like what's in it. Like you need to reshoot." And I mean, I have heard. So the Hollywood code name for this, sorry Hollywood, is Maven, and I have heard that people are seeing stuff from Maven come out and breakdowns, and that they are supposedly going to move forward and reshoot it. I don't know at this point that you can't not finish it because you've already dumped millions of dollars into it. So it's like, if you've got to reshoot 60%, you've got to reshoot 60%. How long is that going to take? I don't know. We might be waiting a long time for this movie to drop. Uh-oh.
Oh, I think we have to push it. I think we have to push it. I think that's the end of the day. I think they just understood that they knew they messed up at this point. It's like, I don't know how you get this far in this project and how controversial this topic is to not have all these, I's dot and these T's crossed. It doesn't make sense that someone missed this though, right?
I feel like
nobody missed it, Brian.
This is what I feel like happened. They didn't want issues while they were shooting, so they didn't have the family there to watch or take them dailies or anything. It probably could have been avoided if they had some family members there and went through the script a little more and had them on set. And now not only do you have legal issues, you have family issues. This is a tricky one. And it's so sensitive. I hope they anticipated this, and I hope they've set aside some serious contingency money, because that is part of every film's budget, right? We usually save, I would say for most films that I would line produce for, I would say 15% for contingency, which is not enough to reshoot 60% of the movie. So I hope that they put a bunch aside anticipating issues, but we'll see.
You would hope so. You would hope so. I mean, honestly, you'd think that like how big this project is. You would think they'd have an idea of like, okay, well, in case this happens, and again, you gotta think that people are gonna probably come after them too because of all the controversy about Michael Jackson in general.
Oh, yeah.
I still want to see it. I'm interested in it though. I think that it's like quite the story, and his nephew playing him too. I think it's fascinating, and I think that he looks like him, has the part down.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's buzz behind this. It might create more buzz. What do you think, Val? Is this going to make more buzz? And you think that people are maybe going to be, or people might be turned off by this at all?
No, I think that this is because it's so, like, Michael Jackson himself is so complex and so controversial in so many different ways. Just like even now talking about it, I have so many questions. You know, I'm like, okay, is this over the course of his life? Is this like, is the nephew going through like, are they putting like a whole bunch of special effects makeup?
Oh yeah, they are. They're doing the whole thing.
See, and that alone is enough for me to want to see it, and that makes me feel terrible, like based on everything that's alleged about Michael Jackson, you know? And that's like, it doesn't matter how much money this is going to cost. That alone, like, people are going to watch it because it's Michael Jackson's so strange and controversial, and they'll, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna get watched regardless if they make it.
I thought they were going to like boycott. I thought people might boycott it initially, but I'm like, you know what? I think that people are just going to be intrigued by it too. You're right. They start early days of him, like Jackson 5, like, and they go through the whole freaking time. And I know it ends with the trial at that point. That's supposed to be the whole third act. And that's after, if you see him in the trial, he's already gone through all the massive transformations at that point, you know, to become the Michael Jackson we knew at the end of his life. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how they actually, having a family member attached, I thought that this would actually add, like, you know, more of their blessing too, but apparently not, which is crazy to me. You know, you'd think that would actually tie them back in. Yeah. Is this something that you think that, like, okay, Val, you hear about this movie, you've heard only a little bit about it. Do you think this could be like maybe one of the highest grossing biopics ever?
Yeah, absolutely. Just to see, I mean, I think because it's his nephew, I think that would draw a lot of people like, oh, okay, that's kind of nice. Like, I think people would want to see that, certainly. And just to see how it's done, you know, I think people would watch it regardless. Or just to see how they portray the story. You know, what angle are they going to take from this? Are they going to, like, okay, they're going to talk about all the nice things in his life. How are they going to portray all of the terrible things about him? You know, how is that? What's the perspective they're going to take?
Yeah, and people in the chat too, like Edward Hyde, are saying like they're just going to change it all, which, you know, that was a big thing that people said about it too. Like, well, they're just going to make it look like he's like the nicest person, the best person in the world, and not show the bad side. That's been a big debate about it. I think they got to show everything, but I mean, we'll have to wait and find out. But I feel like you'd have to show it all. You'd have to show the good and the bad. And honestly, and I was telling somebody else about this too. I'm like, I just feel like he just never grew up, that kid. You know, here we did do that. I don't know what she said. Oh, about whitewashing. Oh, Queen. I'm giving you one of those, Queen. I'm giving one of those. You know, I just think that, you know, I think GR, you were talking about that, GR, right? You were about how he was kind of trapped, I think, in his child, you know, as a child mentality, maybe, right? That maybe he was trapped in that.
What I was saying, you and I were talking offline, I think he was abused as a kid. And most abusers become abusers. It's been proven. It's a psychological thing. I think he was a dirtbag pedophile. That's personally. I don't agree with I think it's going to make a little bit of money. And I don't think it was an accident that they shot with the kid's name.
Do you think they were hoping to get away with it?
Exactly what I think, Brian. They would say, oh, we'll put it in and we'll get away with it.
I mean, it seems like it's too big profile to do that, though, GR.
You know, people are stupid sometimes, Brian. You know that. It's Hollywood. We can get away with it. We can do anything.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they didn't.
And like I know Val was saying about like his whole transformation. Like literally, this is like a picture of him from the trial. You know, that's literally a picture of him. Like, look what happened. You know, look where he looked at that point in his life. You know, he went through a massive transformation. You know, and that's the Michael Jackson we knew towards the end of his life. And so I think, you know, for his nephew to dive into that role, that's quite the interesting opportunity for him too. Laura, would you do something like that if it was like your uncle was like that controversial, that big, and someone asks you to play him, would you want to go home and do that more than have somebody else address that situation?
I mean, I would 100% do it, but I wouldn't I don't really have a lot of sympathy for people who are accused of things like that. So I'd be like, let's tell the real story and let's allude to the real deal. I do think as an actor, you bring a lot of that home, though. It would be really hard. I think that would be really hard to do. But I don't know. My perspective on that is you are telling, for me, I would take a historical approach, but you have to be really sensitive to victims and stuff that even, I don't know. I know we've been talking about the fact that he didn't really get convicted of it. I don't know. That's a really hard, maybe I would just stay the hell away from that.
It's tough.
I'm reconsidering it. I think it's something you'd really have to think about and be like, do I really want to do this and take it on? And woof.
It's tough because you see how divided people are.
But now I'm like, oh, I don't know.
But I mean, again, you can't. We have to think about he did pretty massive impact on the music industry. Pretty massive impact.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the reason why people want to see this, right? That's the reason why. But how do you do it? It's a big question. How do you do it because of this? How do you do it because of that? There's so many things to address. Here's a question, though, that I think is very fascinating. I've asked this before. I'm going to ask it now. I'm going to start with Valarie, and we're going on the table. Valarie, if you had the opportunity to spend one night in Neverland, would you do it?
No. No. Of all the things you could have asked me, I was not expecting that.
Neverland Ranch, would you do it?
No, I don't want to step foot anywhere near Neverland Ranch. Oh my God. That sounds terrifying. Anyway.
I'm going to tell you, I would do it in a heartbeat. But that's me. I would like to see that crazy, weird world.
Now the look on your face was priceless when he asked you that.
No, there's a million things you could have said, and that was not the one I was expecting. I don't think.
How about you, Laura? Would you stay at Neverland Ranch? Would you go there and pull Valarie with you, or what?
I would go there and I would free all those animals. I would set all the animals loose and be like, run away! I think two of his giraffes died or something. I would just be like, run, giraffes, get out, go monkeys, be free.
They finally moved them all off the premise now, and it almost burned down a couple of years ago during the wildfires up north. They almost burnt down, but they stopped it ahead of time. It burned a little bit of the shrubbage and stuff, the trees, but I mean beyond that, they didn't burn down. So that was good because I think it's a weird historical thing. It's kind of broken down and not the same as it used to be too. It's interesting, but it is
the animals.
Well, they couldn't sell it, Brian.
I read about that. I didn't know all those dirty secrets, and I can't remember where I read it. I read about it recently because someone was telling me about the draft or something. I think it was a trivia question, and then I was like, "Oh my God, so many animals died here! Why was this okay?" I don't know. Just on the animal deaths alone, Michael Jackson doesn't hit quite the same for me anymore.
Wait. So okay, I just need to get this straight. So he kept many exotic animals there. Were they kept there a good amount of time after his death?
Year round. They were there for a while. They were there, yeah.
And just not
until they found. Well, they were cared for when he left. They had a caretaker, but it started going downhill. And then they started moving him out, and they pulled out the Ferris wheel, and they pulled out some of the. I think the train is still there because they had a train that goes around the whole.
I'm so sorry. That is hilarious. You said I wouldn't leave my used socks.
Used socks with Michael Jackson. I saw people about not leaving their dogs. Queen's I won't leave my dogs with them. Chat, would you stay at Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch? GR, would you stay there?
Long enough to kick the shit out of him.
Well, he's not there, though, anymore. He's not there. It's just you and Neverland Ranch. Would you stay there?
From what I've seen of Neverland Ranch today, why would I want to? It's not, basically a rundown piece of garbage. They can't sell it. They've been trying since about a week after he died. Him and will sell it.
Would you stay there with Macaulay Culkin for a night?
Oh.
Oh, Jesus, I'm not my type, okay?
Oh, boy. That'd be interesting to go Corey Feldman to Macaulay Culkin and go spend the night and be like, so, guys, nothing happened here? Just checking.
How about a hard no on that one, Brian?
Yeah. I love the chats like they wouldn't keep their. How do we know Michael Jackson is dead? Edward Hyde says. Yeah, he's doing an amusement park queen. Yeah, I think we're pretty sure. I remember when he passed away. That was a while ago now because I was working on Easy A. That was a long time ago. But the Michael Jackson biopic is still coming. Yeah, right. Back in the dark ages. That was a little while ago. But Michael Jackson, guys, he's still out there somewhere. And he's still haunting our dreams. He's doing it somewhere.
Haunting Neverland Ranch. Maybe that's why they can't sell it.
Somewhere out there. I mean, maybe.
Whoa! Oh shit!
But I'm interested. I know, Pepe.
Okay, you can go stay there, Brian. I'll handle the show while you're gone.
GR's trying to take the show.
Oh, trying to get in there, GR. I see how it is, GR. I see. But anyways, the Michael Jackson biopic is going to be probably reshot 60%. Laura says it's a lot. It's a lot. I know.
I heard last time. The first number I heard was like 40%, and then I saw someone a couple weeks later. It was like totally different person. They were like, "No, it's like 60%." I was like, "Dang, that's gonna
that ain't in the budget."
No, I mean,
we got more money.
People spend more money. It happens all the time. And then sometimes things get scrapped. But I think this is too high profile not to be like finished.
No, if they keep throwing money at it, once it hits the theaters, it's gonna make so much freaking money. They're like, just keep throwing money at it. Let's finish it.
And that word of mouth sometimes, Laura, that like buzz about it, that's like, oh, this happened, this controversial things here and this. It just leads more people to want to watch it. It just does.
It's true.
So.
Yeah. No,
I think the family.
What is it? No press is bad press, something like that.
Yeah, no press is bad press. Yeah, 100%. No press is bad press, Michael. And we'll have to see if this biopic is any good whenever it comes out. I'm guessing at least a year delay, probably at least. So
probably 27,
we'll see everybody.
Maybe 28.
Yeah, I can see 2027 release. I can see that.
Yeah,
but we'll see, guys.
Well, you figure, I don't know, they're not reshooting yet. So you have reshoots in either this year or next year, and it's probably a year or two in post for sure.
I would think so, Edward Hyde. They should cover that too. I mean, I would imagine because that was a big chapter in his life too. They're supposed to cover like all the way through the trial, the allegations and stuff from like when he was young to all the way through. So they have different people playing. There's a person playing it from a younger version of him too, from the Jackson 5. So we'll see. Michael Jackson, everybody.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.